Ah,
Oh my God.
all
That looks
right.
stupid.
Dude, I think you mean awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I finished watching it like 2 minutes ago.
I saw that it was like near 2 o'clock, so I skipped through like the last 20 minutes seeing everything. Like I got the
Hmm.
stuff, but I was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah. Welcome to Pulp Diction, the podcast where I talk about movies with my friends for an academic obligation. So you just watched it as well?
Yep, for the first time.
For the first time, and my
Hmm.
second time.
Okay.
And welcome back to the Pulp Diction podcast. We're a little behind schedule, but that's okay. I'm as usual, I'm your host Dylan Gibson, and I'm joined by Emma Jo Douglas. And Emma Jo, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Came out in 1980, I believe.
Yes.
Directed by Sean Cunningham. And yes, I mean, I think most people at least know the name Friday the 13th. Like it's one of the more well-known horror properties to come out uh in general.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, I've known what it was, but I never watched it.
yeah, like everyone knows the name, but how many people actually have seen the movie?
Right.
I'm not sure because the first one, it's kind of interesting watching the first one, like from today's perspective, because it's less about the movie itself is known than like the house that it built. You
Yeah.
know, like everyone knows Friday the 13th, crazy kills, lots
Hmm.
of sex,
Oh yeah.
gore,
Hmm.
uh Jason Voorhees, his mask, this big
Yeah.
hulking figure. But Jason's not in the
No,
original.
I was so confused. I was like, where the hell is this dude?
Yeah. And like, what did you think of that? Like about it being his mom at the end?
I didn't like it.
No?
No, I was like, give me Jason. This isn't I don't like this.
Yeah. I do think what's her name? Betsy Palmer did a great job as Pamela Voorhees.
Hmm.
Uh and I do appreciate her, but like it's not as fun as
No.
the later ones where Jason, I mean everyone except this one, where
Right.
Jason is the bad guy.
Hmm.
Uh but it's definitely unique. And have you seen Psycho?
No, but I need to.
You do. I won't say anything, but like it kind of reminded me of that. Her
Hmm.
and her and her just relationship with her son and whatnot.
I
Gotta
do kind of know
kill
how
her.
it goes. Yeah.
What?
I kind of know how Psycho ends. I talked about it in my horror class.
Oh, really?
How she like dresses up as her or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, the son. Yeah. And it's kind of a reverse of that. Like she's she's going, kill her, mommy, kill her.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
was like,
weird.
all
But
right.
I kind of dig it. And I do
Mhm.
think the movie does pick up finally when Betsy Palmer shows up, but
Yeah,
that's like the last 20 minutes. So
right.
at that
I
point does it
was
even
like,
matter?
yeah. It felt so slow.
It's a
Like
slow
nothing
movie.
was happening at all.
Like I do not think I love Friday the 13th as a series,
Mhm.
a franchise. I do not like the first movie.
That was not good. But I might check out the second one, but I'm not a fan of when horror movies have like eight in a franchise or like it's so many. I think one is fine. Maybe it's a little
Yeah.
good too, but like you don't need 10 or how many like Scream has. Like, oh my God, no.
hmm I do think Scream is one of the rare instances where there isn't a bad one in the series.
Really?
I think so. Have you
I don't
seen
know.
all the
A
Screams?
lot of no, I haven't seen all of them, but I'm going to. And a lot of people I've talked to say they hate like
The third one?
through like five or something.
I think two's good. Some people like two more than the original.
Really?
Yeah, and like it's good. So the original obviously plays with like slasher tropes and stuff, which Friday the 13th being among the movies it plays with. Like you remember in the opening of Scream with Drew Barrymore, one of the questions is
Yeah.
like, who was the killer in the original Friday the 13th?
Right.
And it's Jason's mother, which she
Mhm.
gets wrong. But in Scream 2, they kind of play with like tropes of horror sequels and
Yeah.
stuff. And the third one, they kind of keep going with that, like tropes of the ends of trilogies, and then, on and on. And I do think they have fun with it. The sixth one wasn't quite as satirical as I've liked,
Hmm.
but it was still okay, I guess.
Yeah, this one, it just, it was all right. Like, I was
It's a
watching
very okay movie.
it, like, I probably won't watch again. But, like, oh my God, just the whole intro, like, I knew what was happening.
Hmm.
One thing with me, I cannot watch old movies with, like, how, like, some of the shots are just so terrible.
Yeah.
For me, I hate a lot of slow-mo stuff when it's, like, so
The
aggressively
slow
slow and
motion is
everything's, like,
so was so
all
cheesy.
so bad. I was watching when the title came up. I laughed so hard.
I
FaceTiming
like
Ellie.
and then
Yes,
brr,
the
the
glass.
glass.
I was like, there's no way they just did that. And I reminded it, and I was like, Ellie, you have to watch this. And I pointed the camera. She went, what movie are you watching? I'm like, it is the first Friday the 13th. And she's like, that's terrible.
It's yeah, and then it's some of the lamest opening credits ever
It's
because
the
it's
worst
just
thing
black
ever.
screen
It's
with
the
white
tiniest thing and then
plain
growing.
white
And I'm like,
name. Yeah, and just the black screen and the plain white names as the
ugh.
soundtrack plays. It's so lame. It's
Oh my
I
God.
do think the soundtrack's uh relatively underrated. Like I quite like the original
Good.
Friday the 13th soundtrack.
Yeah.
Even if it is kind of ripping off Psycho.
Yeah. I could
Uh
kind of hear that.
mhm.
I didn't know Kevin Bacon was in it. So that was a
Yeah.
surprise.
Young Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch it now. I like him. And
Yeah.
then he like dies like
Yeah. What'd
30
you think of
minutes
his
later.
death? Like,
I'm like, oh my God.
I think the
The like
kills are one of the only highlights of this movie.
hmm
Uh,
they were pretty crazy when like the axe like thrown into his face
yes.
was like,
Yes,
okay.
it's so good. And just
I can't remember the other ones, honestly.
let's see, there's Kevin Bacon with the arrow through his neck and the
Yeah,
blood squirting out. It's gnarly.
that's
And
oh
and like late at near the end with the guy pinned to the door with all the arrows.
yeah, that one was disgusting.
Yeah, the makeup in the movie is so good
It's really
because
impressive.
oh, totally. Like it holds up really well.
Yeah,
And because of this guy Tom Savini, who's like known for these really good horror movie gore type
okay.
effects. He did this. I think he did like the Night of the Living Dead remake or something.
Okay.
And it's just and so I think Friday the 13th is one of those movies where the story of like how it got made is more interesting than the movie itself.
Okay.
Because you watch videos and stuff and behind the scenes of these kills and how they did them, and it's
Yeah.
so creative and cool. And
Yeah.
you watch you watched the kill count video on this movie. James A. Janice does much more justice to these stories than I ever could. I love that man. But like the Kevin Bacon kill especially, I think it was this whole thing. They had Kevin's head poking out and like a whole fake body underneath him that they poked the arrow through.
Okay.
And they had a tube that they were going to put the fake blood through, right?
Yeah.
But like something with the mechanism or the tube or whatever broke. So what they had to do was someone put the blood, the fake blood in his mouth and like spit it
Yeah.
through the tube and had to spit it out like with their mouth to make it
Oh
look
my
like it was
God.
spurting through his neck.
What in
It's
the world?
amazing. But yeah, just all sorts of stuff like that. I think the kills in the movie are great. It doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily make up for all the stuff that's not great because
No.
the dialogue's terrible, the
I was
actors are bland, the story is mediocre. Um,
everyone it felt so forced and like just even with the dialogue, I was like, what are y'all
yes.
saying right now?
It's like they it's like they just took the first draft of the script and they're like, okay, good enough.
Yeah,
Let's
fine.
put let's let's
Yeah,
work with
let's
it.
go.
And I guess so it was a low budget movie, the
Hmm.
13. 550,000.
Wow.
So because that's like the whole thing with these slashers in the 80s was like they saw how Halloween did insanely well
Right.
with a nothing budget.
Hmm.
And all the studios are like, we can make bank off of this. So they
Yeah.
all immediately start pumping out these low budget slashers. Friday the 13th like was totally reinforcing this
Hmm.
because this also made an unholy amount of money.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. And it was because the marketing, mainly because of the marketing being
Yeah.
amazing. Like the scariest movie you'll ever see, whatever, which
Right.
it's definitely not.
No, I was not scared at all. I was like, this is taking too long. I'm bored.
No, it's so slow. It is so painful. Um, and like there are a few moments where it's okay, where it's good, not great. It's never great,
No.
but it's good.
Okay. Yep.
And but I don't know that all that makes up for it.
Right. It
Uh,
was it was so I'm
yeah.
just remembering everything and I'm like, it really wasn't good. I was like,
Yeah,
I don't
no, there's not much memorable about it outside of like Pamela Voorhees and the kills.
right.
Like nobody looks at this and says, "Oh, what was the final girl's name? Was it Alice?" I think it was
No, Alice was
no.
one of the girls who was like supposed to work there, but they got killed like
That
by the car.
right. What was Annie?
And
Annie? Was it Annie? I don't know.
either
Whatever
one-
whatever her name
I know there
was.
was an Alice and Annie. Either one of them got killed by the car, and I can't remember if it was
Yes.
Annie or Alice. Now I
I
remember.
don't know. I don't any whatever her name was, nobody says, "Oh, she's one of my favorite final girls." Like you
Right.
don't say Laurie Strode, excuse me, Laurie Strode, Ellen Ripley, Friday the 13th girl. No,
No. I
it's
I
uh,
remember like whoever the girl in the beginning was, I thought she was gonna be the final girl,
yeah.
but they were
I
focusing
do
so
think
much
that
on
was a
her.
nice misdirect, if that's
Yeah,
what they were going for.
I guess so. But her dialogue, I think, was the worst.
Yes,
Like
it was
in the
awful.
car, she was like, "I love children, and I hate when they
I hate
call
when
them
they call
kids
them
because they
kids. It's
sound
like
like goats."
goats. Who talks
What?
like that? What is wrong with you? You know whose dialogue I did like was Crazy Ralph.
Yes.
Doomed, you're all doomed. It
Yes.
has a death curse. And when he's just hiding in that like supply closet,
Right.
like how long were you in there? I don't. Oh, he's one of my favorite characters. Just and it's such like a paint by numbers plot with like
Oh
the
yeah.
harbinger prophet guy being Crazy Ralph.
Hmm.
Uh and the POV they just shamelessly steal so much from the slashers that came before it.
Oh
Even
yeah.
like right from the first few minutes, you got the POV shot of the killer like Halloween does. And it's so shameless. And a part of you just has to appreciate them being like, we have nothing. Let's
Right.
and we're gonna make so much money. And they did. And there are 12 of these movies.
Oh, 12? I thought it was like 8. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I've seen them all.
That's
And
terrible.
how many are good? Maybe three, if we're being optimistic. I do think part six is the only one I'd genuinely, legitimately consider a pretty good movie.
Really?
Jason Lives. Heck yeah. Because that's when they like really start going into the horror comedy angle.
Okay.
Like they don't take themselves too seriously. And it's fun. It's a really fun movie.
That's good.
But part four is pretty good. You got Corey Feldman in that one. The final chapter, but of course it wasn't the final chapter because they wanted to
Right.
make more money. But did you have a favorite kill in the movie? Was it the axe?
I think that, yeah, the whole Kevin Bacon and the axe scene, like that whole,
Hmm.
I knew like when they were like making out, I was like, oh, y'all are dying. I was like,
Yeah,
it's always
another
this.
trope like they just
Right.
completely.
So I was just waiting for it. the era I was not expecting
Hmm.
because there's so many people already getting like slashed by the neck. I was like, all right, this guy's gonna come up and just do that and
Yeah.
leave.
The throat slit of the hitchhiker girl, that was really good.
Yeah. She I was yeah, so I was expecting that. So when the era came out, I was like, oh,
Hmm.
okay.
I like
And
the
the
like
girl
the
in the
summer camp
bathroom.
themed
Yeah.
kills.
The whole time I was like, if we know people have died here, why do we keep coming back? I was like, this is so stupid.
That's a question. That's a question. It's very much like it's almost a relic from its time. It's a 44-year-old movie now.
Right.
And it's just this is what slashers were in the 80s. They
Yeah.
were just these low budget paint by numbers, uh nothing put into them, maybe
Right.
some good
Very
makeup and
predictable.
stuff.
Right. I
Just
think the
try
makeup was
like
really, I think the makeup was the only good thing I liked.
oh, it probably was. Like
Yeah.
no goal, nothing there's no poetry to it, no
No.
very little artistry. They just want to make money. It's a
Right.
product.
Yeah.
And that's what cinema was back in the day. And like we can look back at the 80s, be like, "Oh, they had so many classics, so much good stuff." But for every one of those, you have five like copy and paste Friday the 13th
Right.
clone, not even just Friday the 13th, but Friday the 13th clones, which is
Mhm.
a clone in and of itself.
Yeah.
So at a certain point you're just getting to a copy of a copy of a copy.
Right.
And it did so much for the slasher subgenre, for better or worse.
Yeah. I've been wanting to watch more slasher films, and
Hmm.
this one was on my list. I just never knew when I was gonna watch it.
Yeah, I do think
So I'm kinda,
every horror fan should watch it just because
yeah,
like the iconic status it has.
yeah. I've been trying to watch a lot more horror films because of the class I took last semester. I already only want to watch Scream. I don't want to watch any more Friday the 13th, honestly. I don't think it's for me.
Mm,
I have to watch Midsummer for my art of
I
film
do
class.
too. I need to
I'm
watch that.
excited. I'm really excited. We get to talk about it. But dude, everyone's pissing me off in that class because so many of like these kids, and not these kids, like the students are like, "Oh, like I'm not good with horror. Like it's a trauma thing," and I'm
Oh
like,
my
"Then don't
gosh.
watch it.
Shut up.
I'm sorry. Whatever you've gone through, I'm sorry. You don't need to watch a horror movie that's very much not real. Like Midsummer is like the least like real. Like it's not realistic at all. It's just a cult thing. Like obviously cults are real, but like it's not like you're gonna
It's
be like
not that.
encountering stuff.
Hmm.
Like
Oh, my trauma. By which you mean like, I don't know, your dad
watching like I
lightly
don't even
patted
like
you
some
once.
stupid horror movie when you're a kid and just hating every single one. No.
Mm. I
Oh my God.
don't know. I I'm not normally the kind of person to be like, oh, people are so sensitive these days, but some people are
A little bit of
indeed
people are.
so
But yeah.
sensitive.
We I can't remember. He had to pull up some sort of clip from a horror movie, and someone literally was like, I just saw them like not want to, and I'm like, it was like one of the least scary. Oh, it was Get Out,
Get
and I
Out?
haven't seen
I
that.
mean,
I know I've heard
it's
it's scary, but I haven't even seen it
it's
yet, and
like
I don't.
psychologically
Yeah,
scary, but it's not it's like creepy, I guess.
right. Like he showed us the clip when like the lady just keeps saying no, like when she's telling him like I didn't mean to tattletale or
Mm,
whatever, something like that. I didn't
it's a
think it was
great
scary at
scene.
all. I definitely thought I was like, oh, this is weird. Like, okay, I like it.
Yeah.
This girl the whole time she's like, oh, and I'm like, stop. You're embarrassing yourself truly. Like, stop.
Yeah, it's definitely like freaky, you
Yeah.
know? And a
It's
lot
not
of horror movies for me at least are like that where it's freaky but not necessarily scary.
I don't think I've watched a movie like a horror movie where I've been like scared.
Yeah.
The build up for like when I know I'm gonna watch a horror movie is when I'm like kind of like, oh God.
What's gonna happen? Yeah, no, the suspense definitely is like sometimes you kind of get more in your own head than the movie gets
Right.
in your head.
Yeah, because I watched I think it was The Conjuring, like
I've been needing to
last
watch
year.
that forever.
That one, oh, the whole time I was like, I can't do it. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to watch this. And my friend was like, you're such a baby. You got this. And I was like, okay. And it was fine. I was like, okay, over dramatic. I won't think like this again for a horror movie.
No. What? You?
Oh God. But yeah, I think um I like yeah, because of these new horror movies, I'm liking more and more of them. So I'm, needing to watch a lot
No,
more.
it's a great genre, horror.
It
Uh
is.
like the you can do so much with it. There's so much variety in like the types. There's psychological, there's uh realistic,
Right.
paranormal,
Hmm.
whatever, silly horror, serious horror, old horror, new horror. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Hmm.
And that's one of the reasons I've like in the last few years kind of fallen in love with it as a genre. Uh, just because it's fun. It can be so much fun. And I think the Friday the 13th movies become fun eventually. They
Right.
sort of find their footing, but it's the road there's a rocky one for
Yeah.
sure. The I don't know. I think if the first movie had made the amount of money it probably deserved to make, I don't know if there would be a whole franchise out of it.
Yeah.
But it did, and I love parts of it. I played one of my not my introduction to this series, but one of my introductions to it was the video game, which is offline now. I don't think you can even buy it anymore.
What's the
Uh,
video game like? What do you what?
so there are like I want to say 13 players in a game. 12 of them get to be camp counselors. One person is selected to be Jason.
Is it like Among Us basically?
Not really, because everyone knows who Jason is. Like you hear scary music when he gets closer, and he's
Okay.
just this scary, unstoppable force. You like barricade doors, he starts breaking them down.
Yeah.
And the counselors, their job is to try to escape camp, which they can do by fixing a boat, fixing a car, uh, or some other means. I can't remember all of them. Calling the police, I think. You can kill Jason, but it's a very long, hard, uh, uh, arduous process.
Yeah.
But it was such a fun game, mainly because of the social aspect, because there was proximity chat, right?
Yeah.
So the closer you were to somebody, like you'd be able to hear their voice chat, right? And, and Jason could voice chat too.
Oh my God.
So you'd be like screaming, running away from him, like, "Get over yourself, no!" And Jason would be like, I'm coming to get you, boy. Come here. Breaking down the door, I can smell you.
Oh my God.
One guy was chasing me. He was just playing the Space Jam theme through his mic the whole time.
Oh
Uh,
Lord.
it's nothing will ever replicate that, and I'm so sad the game's just dead now.
Where he said it's like online or like
Yeah, it was. You can't even buy it anymore. It's over.
oh, so nobody plays it. Oh my God, what the heck?
Yeah, it was so fun though. Um,
Sounds fun. Now, what? Now I want to play it. No, I can't.
yeah. Well, because there was this whole legal battle in recent
Oh,
years,
okay.
right? Which is the reason there hasn't been a Friday the 13th movie since 2009.
Mm,
Which was the reboot,
yeah.
because I think it was a dispute between Victor Miller, who wrote the original, and Sean Cunningham, who directed the original and I think produced all the other ones. I'm not sure though. And basically it was over Jason himself. Like something like Victor Miller had created Jason as a character and didn't feel like he'd received proper royalties or whatever.
Hmm.
And Sean Cunningham was like, "You created child Jason who drowned in a lake.
Yeah.
We made cool Jason, who is a murderer and wears a hockey mask and dies and comes back to life and does cool stuff." I'm definitely oversimplifying it and getting parts wrong, but that
Right.
was the extent of it. And
Sounds right.
that's like the because of that legal dispute, like the franchise has been in limbo for ages.
Mm.
I think they finally settled it, and they're gonna start picking stuff up again. They're
Oh,
making like a Camp Crystal Lake show for Peacock. I don't know how that's gonna go.
Peak
Probably
shows
poorly.
don't usually go well, but who
Yeah.
knows?
Um, so I can't say I'm terribly excited for it.
Mm-mm.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Um, and they had to stop support for the game, which is especially sad, not just because the game's shut down, but because they had all these updates planned where they were gonna add more Jasons. They were gonna add Jason X to the game.
Okay.
It's from the 10th Friday the 13th Friday movie, Jason X, which is where they go to space. And Jason kills people on a space station, like a future spaceship, and it's awesome. Uh, and they were
Nice.
gonna add the ship. They're gonna add
Yeah.
Jason X, who's got like this metal mask and stuff.
Hmm.
And Jason X, I think it's also one of the better movies because it's also like a horror comedy.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
but it's so silly. It's so silly and so good. But the original, so they have like a really, it's kind of a cool story, cool, funny, whatever story.
Yeah.
Because
I wanted to like it because I like
yeah,
the idea of just like these camp counselors, they're just living around, not doing anything yet. But like it really was the dialogue and the
yeah.
slowness that
Like
ruined
there
me.
nothing happens for so much
Right.
of it. Like, oh, we're playing strip Monopoly, hee hee hee. And not even when they're not like getting naked and having sex, it's just nothing. Nothing happening. None of these characters are memorable. Nothing is remarkable about any of them.
I was on my phone half of this movie. I was
Me
like, "What's
too. Me
happening?" I was like, "I don't
too.
watch
Like
this."
I don't like to be on my phone during, well, I do it more than I would like to admit. But
Me
like
too.
this one uh, it's a boring movie, and that
It's
is the last thing any movie should want to be. And
and I
like
do hate that it's only the last 20 minutes that where it picks up.
yes.
I'm like, I'm bored. I don't want to finish it
Like
now.
I genuinely think like they probably took a first draft of this script and
Oh
just
yeah.
went with it.
This
It's
easily could have been like
uh,
freaking 40-minute movie. Like
yeah.
not an hour and a
It's
half. If you can just do it.
and you can argue, oh, it's there's beauty in simplicity. It's well, if you're gonna be simple, then don't. I don't know. Less talk, more kills. You know.
For real.
Like you look at Halloween, that's a simple movie, but it's a masterpiece.
Hmm.
Come on. But I guess not everybody's John Carpenter, so yeah, I want to like it more than I do like it.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I I think I enjoy watching the kill count. Have you ever watched Kill Count on Dead Meat? They're such good video. Like I recommend watching those after any horror movie. Watch
Hmm.
him talk about the kills, what because he goes into the behind the scenes and everything.
Okay. Yeah.
James A. Janice is one of my favorite people.
Hmm.
Um, and his Friday the 13th videos are often better than the Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah.
And he talks about this, and it's been a while since I watched them, so I'm probably wrong about some stuff. But what happened, I think, was he came up with the title before like anything else,
Okay.
and they didn't even have he saw Halloween, and he's like, we need to make something like that so we can make money. So he
Yeah.
hired the writer, and they got to work, and he took out a magazine ad. All he had was the title. It was just a big the logo Friday the 13th with the glass breaking effect, right? He had that from the beginning.
Oh my God.
And he took just a page ad with that logo and the glass breaking. Friday the 13th, the scariest movie you'll ever see.
Wow.
And they didn't even have a completed script yet. They just had this marketing and it paid off because he did such a good job, a genius job with them just making people know about this movie and word of mouth spread and advertising spread and everything and
Mhm.
it led to it becoming the success it did today and causing probably irreparable harm to the movie industry
Yeah.
uh making products instead of art
Yeah.
and now we're here.
I do
But
remember when I was taking my class, my professor was like, we didn't talk about this movie a lot, but he did say how the first one is so simple and that's what's like nice about it. And I'm like, and I'm watching this, I was like, it's too simple. I don't like this.
yeah,
I was like, I
yeah,
love a
no,
simple movie. Like some of my
definitely.
movies are like those artistic, simple movie things, whatever.
Hmm.
And I'm like, this is not what I like. I was like, this is too way too
Like
simple.
it's not simple in a charming way. It's
Right.
simple in a dumb way. It's
Exactly.
a dumb movie.
Yeah.
And
Oh Lord.
I don't know. I felt the same way about the new Godzilla X Kong movie.
I've never
I
watched
got
any of
dragged to,
those.
I've never seen a Godzilla, never seen a King Kong. I got dragged to see that at the theater. I did not enjoy it. Um, it was stupid,
Yeah.
and um,
I saw someone watching it on the plane coming back from Italy, and like I was waiting for use the bathroom, so I'm literally watching over their shoulder for like 5 seconds, and I'm like, this looks dumb. I'm like, what are you
yes,
watching?
there were like two or three okay moments where I'm like, hmm, and that
Hmm.
was the most enjoyment I got out of
Oh, okay.
it. Yeah, like he picks up a little monkey and starts beating other monkeys with it, and I'm like, that's cool. I like
Nice.
that. But like then it's another 40 minutes of, you
Yeah.
know, and the first Friday the 13th is like that.
Yeah.
I do think the remake, the 2009 Friday the 13th is it kind of goes for that simplistic approach,
Hmm.
but they at that point like it was 29 years since the original came out. They know what people come to see these movies for, and they
Right.
waste no time getting to the point. And I love that. Like the reboot is my second favorite movie in the series, right after Jason Lives. Because it got straight to the point. It doesn't beat around the bush, you know?
Right.
Like in the first like 5-10 minutes, there are some great kills in that one.
Oh, good. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It also has stupid dialogue, but like in a way that you can at least laugh at.
Oh,
Because in this one, well, you can't even laugh at it. It's just
no.
dumb. It's
It's
mm,
cringy. I just sit there and I'm like, what are you saying?
uh, it's a thing. What was up with that one guy? Tim, was his name Tim, who is just like like I think they were trying to make him like a comic relief dude. He
The
like
one who had like the Indian headset for a minute and he's
yes,
going
let's
crazy.
talk
Yeah.
about the Indian headset.
Yeah.
Why did he do that?
Why did he have it to begin with? Like, it's a huge thing.
Uh,
You're just going around the camp
I don't
dancing
know.
naked.
Maybe
Okay.
that was maybe that's just what summer camps were in the 80s. I don't know. I they like big racist Indian
Right.
costumes and impressions. That's
It's the fact that like nobody was around when he was doing it. Like they found him doing that. And I was like,
yes.
you're just doing this on your own, like because you want to? Doesn't make any
I
sense.
don't know. Like that's like the one character aside from Ralph that's like close to being memorable, I think,
Yeah.
just because he was a freak. And Kevin Bacon, but that's just because he was Kevin Bacon.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh yeah, I'll remember Kevin Bacon. I loved him,
yeah.
but that's it.
I mean, they saw the formula with this movie. They kind of figured it out, and they kept going with it for a while. I
Yeah,
think a Friday the 13th movie came out like for almost every year in the 80s.
really.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord.
Uh, 2, 3, and 4 were like back to back to back.
Mm.
I know that. 5, a lot of people hate 5, but I think it's one of the better ones because it's like an R-rated, hour and a half long Scooby-Doo episode.
Nice.
And then 6 is great because
Mm.
it's like an 80s horror comedy. It's fun.
Yeah,
7, they kind of keep going with the self-aware comedic almost approach, but not quite as self-aware, and it's kind of dumb.
yeah.
But it's also cool because it's like Jason versus Carrie.
Mhm.
Um, I haven't seen Carrie yet. I need to.
Oh yeah, that I have not seen that either. I know I need to.
Yeah. Um, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, sucks. I hate it so much. I hate it more than the first one
No Lord.
because it's called Jason Takes Manhattan, which
Right.
is an awesome idea. Like just Jason in New York.
Right.
About like half an hour is in Manhattan. The bulk of the movie is on a boat, and he's doing stuff on a boat. And when
Okay.
they get to New York, most of the scenes are like, this could be any just grimy, dirty city, you know?
Right.
Because they
Huh.
didn't have the but apparently, supposedly in like the original script, they had all this awesome stuff in New York, like Jason on a subway, Jason dives off the Statue of Liberty, that sort of thing, which
Nice.
sounds great, but they
Yeah.
couldn't do it. But you look at like how crazy this series got, and it's kind of funny how just bare bones the original was.
Yeah.
Like I do appreciate that the killer is like different for like a traditional slasher. It's not this big hulking figure. It's
Right.
just an old lady,
Mhm.
which is it's a
I
nice
thought,
subversion, I
yeah, I like
suppose.
that, but I wanted to see Jason. Like,
Yes.
because I I was always like, growing up hearing terrible stories of Jason and like people were like, he's real, he's coming to get you. And I'm like,
Yes,
oh
right?
shit, okay.
Like
And
I
I'm watching this and I'm like, where the hell is he? Like he's a kid and he's dead. What?
like I growing up, I knew the name Jason before I knew what Friday the 13th
Yeah.
was.
I thought Jason was a real dude. Like I
Yeah.
was, oh yeah, he's
Like
like there's a
he's
guy going
a
around killing
crazy
people.
guy
I'm
with
like,
a hockey mask and a machete. He's gonna kill you.
or
Like
the chainsaw when he did that whole thing. I was like, oh my God.
Jason does not use a chainsaw.
I know.
He's
Just who isn't there a chainsaw thing with him?
Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw
Oh,
Massacre uses a chainsaw.
okay.
I
I remember people mess that up and would
yeah,
tell
totally.
Jason
He
had a
uses
chainsaw.
one power tool in the whole series, I believe. And I
Really?
think it might be I might be completely wrong, but it might be a weed whacker. Not a weed whacker. It's something deadlier than a weed whacker. In
Okay.
part 7. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, I like growing up, I heard all about all these horror icons like Jason, Freddy. I didn't
Yeah.
hear much about Michael Myers, but
I didn't hear a lot about him. I heard a lot about Scream though. Like
yes,
bit of it.
yes. Um, but like people would sing the Freddy song, right? Like 1, 2, Freddy's coming for. Have you seen
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street yet?
No, but I know what that is. Never.
It's a good one. It's one of the better horror series, which they do a crossover eventually with Jason versus Freddy,
Right.
and it's so stupid and so funny.
I remember there was a time when my friend told me she had a sleepover with some girls on Friday the 13th. And
Mm.
um apparently we don't even know if this was like someone she knew or truly a random dude in a hockey mask. Like it was just her home alone. I think like maybe like one of her parents was there, but they were asleep. And like someone like started banging on her door and they're like, what the hell?
It's
They're like,
crazy.
they're like, what is that? And so they locked all the doors and like closed the curtains of every window and everything like that. And like one of them like hid like near the window to kind of look out, and they saw like a guy like just like running in like because they live in the middle of nowhere, like in the
Hmm.
woods. I've been to her house before
That's
when I was younger,
terrifying.
and it was the dude just in a hockey mask running away. And I'm like, she told me that like while I was at her house
Like
for
that's how
sleepover.
you get shot if you're the
Right.
guy.
I
Like
was
it's
like,
just a prank, bro. The prank.
I know. I was like, why would you tell me that when I'm here having a sleepover with you?
That's funny.
I was in middle school. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die tonight. Okay.
It's so over.
She's
Oh, it
like,
was
who
nice.
knows?
Well,
Maybe it could have been my parent, but we think it's a stranger. And I'm like, nice,
that's so
nice.
scary.
I know. I was
I
like,
think
okay, so this Jason dude's real and he's gonna come get me.
right. But
I-
it's funny that kind of thing because like these horror icons, they become so much more than the movies they're from.
Right.
Like I said earlier, I think Friday the 13th is bigger than Friday the 13th, the movie.
Yeah.
It's like everyone knows Jason, even if they haven't seen the movies.
Right.
And he's he's an icon, and
Mhm.
I love him for that.
Yeah.
He, like his presence is so felt throughout this movie, even if he's not in it.
Yeah. Like even just like when people say like, "Oh, it's Friday the 13th," like you know exactly what's like everyone's talking
Like
about.
the image of the hockey mask just springs to
Right.
mind, which it becomes the killer in the second movie, but the
Mhm.
hockey mask isn't even until the third one.
Really
In the second one, he's just wearing a burlap sack with an eye hole.
nice.
Hmm. which is, I mean, it's a unique look, but
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta love the mask.
Yeah. I've always like whenever there's like Halloween, like trick or treating, everyone's always wearing some sort of Jason thing. But there was one year, I think it was my senior year of high school. Um, a big group of us went around this one neighborhood that like everyone in my town lives in, and we only saw one Jason the entire night, and he knew he was the only one, and so like everybody was like scared as
Ha!
hell from him. Like he would just like walk up to groups and just stand near them and do nothing. Sometimes he'll just stand in the
That's
middle of
so
the road
funny.
and
That's
look at
so
people.
fun.
And I have a video. I don't think I have it still, but I took a video. Ellie, she was like Tinkerbell that year. And so she's standing there, and we all saw Jason, and we're like, "Yo, like that's cool costume." And he's standing there, like just nothing, and does like the head
The head
tilt
tilt.
every
Yeah,
once in a
yeah,
while.
yeah.
And then Ellie, she comes up to him, she's like, "Oh my God, like I love your costume. Like, how are you?" And like she's like trying to like mess with him. She wants him to break.
Yeah.
And she's like talking and talking. And this dude just stands there. And we're there for like 5 minutes. They're like, "All right, we're going to the next house." I'm like, "Come on, like we're done." And this dude like followed us for like
Oh,
30 minutes. And we're
dude,
like, "All right, man,
that's
you're
dedication
scaring us."
and also creepiness.
And then Ellie thinks she found out who it was. I don't know. It was some guy in her class, I think.
Oh, funny.
And I think he like the next day he was like, "Oh, Ellie, I liked your costume." And she's like, "What was your costume? Were you Freddy or not Freddy? Were you Jason? Were you this?" And he's like, "I don't know." She's like, "Okay,
No,
whatever."
I have a Jason mask. I would love to do that. I don't think I have the build for it. Um,
Okay.
but like I don't know. I think it would be so fun to just walk around and
That'd be
stare at people.
so funny.
Like with the anonymity, I wouldn't have to worry about like being
Right.
socially weird,
I
and I wouldn't have
wanted
to
to
talk. But I do
break
feel
like
like I would break very easily. I'm a
yeah.
laugher, so
I saw when this guy did that. I was like, I want to do that one year, like, and not just Jason, like, do like a Scream costume or somebody, and just say silent and
mm,
scare the shit out
I
of everyone.
I have a
But I think
Mike
I'd laugh.
I have a Michael Myers one that my dad used one year. He just stood in the bushes on
Oh my
Halloween
God.
and like stood there. When kids would walk by, they'd be
No.
like, some kids thought it was a statue at first, and then he'd like
Yeah.
step towards them. I think he made a kid or two cry because my dad's a tall guy
Yeah.
too, so he looks the part, and it
That's
was so
hilarious.
funny. It was so funny. I do think if you if you do watch any more Friday the 13th, just do part 4, part 6, and the reboot.
Is there like, do I have to watch every single one to know what happens in like the next one?
No,
Okay.
no. I think for at least the first few, they have like a previously on Friday the 13th where they show like what happened last time,
Yeah.
like an old like a TV show.
Hmm.
I don't know about part 6, but like for that all you really need is to watch part 4 first.
Okay.
'Cause it's the same Corey Feldman is well, it's Tommy Jarvis, and he's grown up in part 6, and he's as a child in part 4.
Okay.
Uh, and it's a whole thing.
Mm.
And I think he's like the only returning character in the series. Uh, the girl from like the final girl from this one might have like died at the beginning of part 2.
Mm.
If I remember correctly, because I think she had a stalker after this movie. Um, So she didn't want to be in the next one. She agreed to
Yeah.
be in it as long as she died, like immediately.
Right. Yeah.
So
Nice.
that was a thing. I don't know. I can't imagine this like of all the movies you could choose to stalk someone over, why would this be it?
Right. That's okay. Oh, I'm watching the X-Men movies.
I heard. How are you liking them?
I watched the first one the other day, or like no, like right before I moved into college. I loved the first one. It was first
The
class.
first one's oh, first class you watched first?
Yeah, because I'm watching them in chronological order.
Okay, okay. Hmm.
Yeah, so I watched first class and I liked that one a lot, honestly.
So
Um,
are you gonna watch Days of Future Past next then?
I already did, just like the other day. I was confused as hell.
Yeah, you kind of got to watch the first three
I'm like,
for that.
how is this chronological? I was like, I don't know any of these people, but it's
What?
okay.
Oh, Ella, not Ella, Emma Joe. Why would you do that? It's
They
such a
said the best
strange
way to
or
watch it is watch it chronologically.
that's such a strange order.
That's Google told me to do that. And like I looked
Google's
at so many
weird.
websites and I was
Google's
like,
dumb.
that was bad. Well, it
Mm.
was a fine movie, but the whole time I was like,
I think Days of Future Past is one of the better ones.
it was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Um, I just love Wolverine. I liking him.
Yeah, they're all basically Wolverine movies. It's
I love that.
which some people aren't big fans of that, but like
Mhm.
he's the X-Man, as Deadpool
Yeah.
says. So what are you gonna do?
I'm trying to watch. I can't remember what's supposed to be next after this one. I
So
think it's
was
Wolverine.
Days of Future Past the one you just watched?
Yeah.
So it's
I know, 'cause
weird.
it makes no sense. I was like, why am I
Well,
watching
it's a
this
time
when it's
travel movie.
a
Like
bullshit thing?
it's so here's the thing. Here's the thing. The post-credit scene from The Wolverine
Mhm.
leads into Days of Future Past. Um,
Is the Wolverine the same one as like Origins, or is that something else?
no, no,
Oh my God.
it's X-Men Origins Wolverine, then The Wolverine, then Logan.
Yeah.
Um, but like it's X-Men 1, X2, X X1, X2, Origins, X3, uh The Wolverine, Days of Future Past. No, First Class is somewhere in that mix.
Mhm.
Um and then Apocalypse. I didn't watch Dark Phoenix yet. Um
That one looks bad.
yeah, I don't know if I'm going to watch it.
I will just
I
to
mean,
do it,
yeah, because you
but
kind of have to, I guess.
great.
I didn't think Apocalypse was as bad as people like to th say it is. Um
Isn't that like isn't Oscar Isaac the villain in that?
Oscar Isaac is Apocalypse, and he is unrecognizable.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I thought he did a great job. Apocalypse is a great villain.
Mhm.
Most of what I know about him is from the 90s X-Men series,
Okay.
in which he's like a huge threat.
Right.
And I thought they did justice to that more or less. But I think the Deadpool movies are some of my favorites in that whole Fox Marvel universe.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I still need to watch the new one.
You don't think you'll have a chance to see it in a theater?
I don't have the time.
Mm,
I am very busy with my
neck deep
sorority
in
and
a
so
sorority.
mhm. I'm in my sorority room right now. So
Fun.
yeah, that's part of people, last year's
Yeah.
class.
Longwood University.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I'm like recruitment chair in training, so I have like
Ooh,
a crap ton to do.
yeah.
So it's fun. And then also have class and all the things.
All the
I gotta like
things.
I'm trying to go see Whiplash in theaters.
Ooh,
I That's
yes.
the one I really want to try. I have a friend who says she also really wants to watch it, and I think she has a car, so we will hopefully go see that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to spend money on Deadpool if I can find it on my.
Right, right, because it's only a matter of time, really.
I also
With
know the second Gladiator 2 comes out. I'm gonna go see that in theaters.
yes, that I'm excited for.
Oh God, I'm so ready.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. Yeah, I need to see Beetlejuice. That just came out.
So yeah, I already
Uh,
have some people going to see that.
I heard it's really good.
I heard that too. So I'm like, I might go see that in theaters, or I might just wait. I don't
Mm.
know.
I want to see the original again. It's been a while.
I do like that one. I heard a lot of people are kind of upset because like nobody from the original cast like makes an appearance except for like the mom and Winona Ryder and obviously Michael Keaton. But
Hmm.
then like nobody else comes in and I'm like,
Well, let's see, because that one guy is a diddler. Um,
Alec Baldwin's got that whole thing going on.
Alec Baldwin killed a woman. Uh,
Also,
and
like the wife of Alec Baldwin, like those two, like she was like, we didn't come back because ghosts don't age and we are very aged.
oh,
So
true, true.
that's
They
like
are.
I was like, there you
That's a
go.
good point. I wonder how they explain it in the movie. Like maybe they moved on to the next life or something.
Apparently they explained it really good, is what I've heard from
That's
like
good.
I see like I follow all like the celebrity news things and like I think it was like entertainment or whatever. It was like, oh, Beetlejuice like recognizes them in a very good way. And I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, so what is it? And it doesn't tell me. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah, I do really I always appreciate when these legacy sequels do something like they have very clear respect for
Yeah.
what came before, and it's tough to do that.
Oh yeah.
Some have done it better than others. I think like Top Gun Maverick has probably done it best
Oh
so
yeah.
far. Like Top Gun Maverick, Cobra Kai season 1, uh and then you have the ones that haven't done it so well, like Star Wars 789.
Yeah.
Go watch that episode. I hope we get a good Friday the 13th movie soon. There's not been one in 15 years.
See
So
the you see the Minecraft trailer?
unfortunately I did. It's not gonna be good. It
I
is
saw that and I wanted to cry. I was like, what am I
it looks
watching?
so bad.
It's terrible.
I am Steve.
I can't watch Jack Black and hear his voice and not picture Poe from Kung Fu Panda. Like when he's like, "I am Steve," I was like, "No, you're the Dragon Warrior right there." I was like, that voice and everything. You're the
I
panda.
mean, I think Jack Black will be the highlight for me. It's just Jack Black in a blue shirt,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is really funny.
I
But
love
like,
Jack Black, so
oh,
I'm like, if he was
I
to do
adore
something
him.
good,
Like,
but
I
everybody
lo
else would be terrible.
I love Tenacious D, which he unfortunately that's a whole thing that just happened. But yeah, I adore Jack Black, and I'm sure he will be like one of the few somewhat redeeming qualities of this movie.
Right.
'Cause it's ugly. It is an ugly looking movie.
The way it's animated, I'm like, what did
No,
we
they should have
do?
gone like either full animated or like full live action, as full as they
Yeah,
could have.
somebody remade the trailer into like
I
Minecraft.
saw that, and it
I was
looks
like,
so
that
much
could have been
better
good.
on a nothing budget. What?
I was so shocked. Oh my God. And like, I love Jason Momoa so much,
Yeah,
but what
he's
is he
great.
doing? What is he doing?
He's
The hair,
collecting his paycheck.
the hair had me gagged. I was like, why are you blonde and why do you have bangs? I was like, that's disgusting. Your outfit, the pink leather, no. Mm-mm. And like the two kids, I don't know who the guy is. The girl,
The girl I recognize from Peacemaker. I thought she was very good in that.
she's
So,
in a few things. She's in a lot of Netflix stuff.
hmm,
Um, like a lot of like family movies. So it's like
right.
all right. But I know she was just in this movie or not a movie, a show called Good Girls Guide to Murder. It was a book and now it's a show.
I've heard of it,
I love the book so much and I'm trying to watch this show. It's just
but
not
it's
the best. And I'm like, it's a BBC show too, so I'm kind of
mm.
like, oh, I don't know if I like it. I just
Yeah,
need to keep
Netflix adaptations are pretty hit or miss. I watched the first season of 13 Reasons Why after reading the book, and I thought that
it's like
was
okay for a while, then later gets bad.
yeah, I thought the first season was very good. Did not
Yeah.
watch the other ones
Mhm.
because I heard they get bad.
They get insane. Like people go through some crazy stuff.
Really.
Yeah, like like there was like I think I saw a TikTok of like one of the scenes and I was like I don't want to watch this show. This is crazy. Like
Oof.
this guy, I think he gets like raped or something
Oh
and
my
like
gosh.
by a broomstick.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar. Sounds familiar. I was like, oh, I was like, guys, that's crazy. That's my high school right there. Which to
Those who
this day I
know.
still
If
can't
you
even
know, you
believe.
know.
I can't even believe that happened. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh my God.
Whoa, deja vu.
Oh my God. It was so bad, but I was like, oh wow, they really did that. They have like a thousand other things going on. I don't even,
Wow.
but I saw that and I was like, okay. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna watch this.
Just PTSD.
It's PTSD. It's
Wow.
really bad. Oh my God. If listeners, nobody knows, but like my school went through some crazy stuff.
If you know, you know.
Okay. It was so bad. I can't believe I went there.
Oh, that's twisted, but it's
Some
kind of
days I
funny.
forget that. Some days I forget that happened and like just how crazy my school was until like people talk about how crazy their school was. I was like, you want to hear about my school? Here's some stuff. I was like, our name changed because we were racist. We had some kids get raped. It was amazing. And they
Hmm.
looked at me and they're like, believe me. I was like, but that it was yeah.
Wonderful. Just a fantastic experience.
Yeah.
Wouldn't trade it for the world.
Definitely not. Oh my God. Anyway, Lord.
Anyway. So,
No.
closing thoughts on Friday the 13th?
It was mid.
It was very
Probably
mid.
won't watch again.
Nope. No.
Probably don't know if I will watch any more of them. Maybe the fourth one.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Yeah, like if you're really bored, maybe you can start watching them all. But you
Maybe.
can also maybe not.
I have like a million things I need to watch right now. So I
Yeah,
feel
like you could watch these or you could watch a good movie.
like I'm in the middle of like so many shows too. Like I'm in the middle of bless you.
Thank you.
I'm in the middle of like Friends and like the
Oh,
Vampire Diaries and
how
what's
are
another show I
those?
watched? I can't remember. I was watching Lucifer on Netflix for a minute.
Oh, how is that?
I liked it. I got like 4 episodes in and then I just never continued it. It's good. It like
Yeah,
there's no reason why I didn't stop. It's just
it
like
looks good.
it is good. My friend showed it to me and I was like, oh, I'm hooked.
Is that a CW show or
Yeah,
yeah?
you can tell it's a CW show too.
Right. They always have that
But like it's like there's some moments where it's kind of like but there's other moments where it's like, oh, okay, that's actually really really
it's
good.
pretty good. Yeah.
Oh well. But yeah, Friday 13th.
Friday the 13th. Yeah. And I just we'll get to that Game of Thrones episode at some point. Probably
Yeah.
soon. Just finished season 4. Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. I'm so excited to talk about it.
We'll talk about it soon. Oh my goodness.
And you know I've been providing you with updates as I
I oh my God. When he texted me when like I think it was the red wedding or something,
Yes.
he was at a party out and I got that text and I went, oh my God, I was like, my friend finally watched it. And this guy was like, he was just there. I was talking with him about Game of Thrones, not even kidding, that same moment. I was talking about how I love that show. And I'm like, what? I just watched it. And he's like, we were freaking out. We were not okay.
That's so funny. Yeah, but I was the red wedding, man.
We'll
Oh,
talk about it. We
we
can
will
talk
talk
about
about
that
it. We'll talk
episode.
about it. I gotta stop myself. But I
Yes.
love the show so much right now, and I'm not ready to be disappointed.
You have no idea what's gonna hit you.
I feel like I need to start like when I watch the last episode, I need to set a camera up so I can capture my reaction.
Yes. Oh
You
my
know?
God. Every single episode you have to. It's so
Every
bad.
episode? Every
I
episode?
just saw this post. Hold on. Well, anyway, I'll show you in a minute, but yeah, anyway, it's so bad. They took a picture of the IMDb like ratings of every episode, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like green, it's good. Every episode is green in like the first few, except for like one, and then the last season, all yellow and all red.
What is that? One, two, three, four, five. Huh.
It's five.
Interesting. What happened there?
Five, episode six, and I cannot remember. I'll have to look it up.
I'm almost there.
Yeah. Oh, this one was okay.
Okay.
It was mid. Anyway.
Anyway, speaking of mid, Friday the 13th, very mediocre movie.
Don't watch it
Uh
if you
I,
want.
yeah, the franchise has such a special place in my heart,
Mhm.
but the first movie will never ever ever be my first choice for a rewatch
Right.
or my second or my third. It's like I don't even know if it's in my top 5 for the series. I might have
Yeah.
made a ranking on Letterboxd at some point or another,
Mhm.
but there are good ones. This is not one of them, but I appreciate that it set the foundation.
Right.
and I love the house that it built. So we'll probably have another episode or two between this and Game of Thrones, probably because I still have 3 seasons to go. Five,
Mhm.
6, 7, 8, 4. But two of those are shorter. So uh but I got another episode with Lily coming up. That should be fun if I can figure out a time to record it. Because she is busy.
Yeah.
And I am busy.
Mhm.
Busy people. Senior year.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll catch you on the flip flop.
See ya.
Bye!